All right, guys. This is going to be an interesting one. I have some good news. Genuinely good news. Twitch, which if you don't know, the most popular live streaming platform in the world, has a big anti-Semitism problem. Not just from the right, but from the left too. Obviously, Hassan and his orbiters have been pushing pro-terrorism propaganda for years at this point. It's been like over a year that this has been going on, and down like to the point of there's a famous clip where Hassan is just like playing a video of Houthis doing like a rally, and Hassan's talking about how based they are. Thankfully, Hassan's viewers can't read Arabic. Otherwise, they might be able to read the flags that say death to the Jews on them. Because that is, in fact, what the flags they were carrying in that video say in Arabic. And so, yeah, it was a pretty cringe moment, and one of many. Now, I've got a lot of issues with Hassan. I mean, hell, I could rant about his takes in Ukraine forever, but the pro-terrorism stuff is its own whole bucket of worms that I feel is worth getting into. Yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I did a segment where I went over the controversy that stemmed from a group of streamers that are Hassan orbiters doing a tier list at TwitchCon. Now, I would actually like to add some context to this because there was one or two things I did not know before doing that segment that add a little context to it. It doesn't change much, but it's worth knowing, I suppose, so I'm going to include it here. So these streamers did a on Twitch, sanctioned by Twitch, on Twitch's like TwitchCon stage, tier list of streamers, popular streamers, where they rated them with the highest rating being Arab coded, basically, and the lowest rating being Love Sabra. If you don't know, Love Sabra basically means you love the kosher food brand Sabra. Sabra is most known for their hummus. It is extremely popular in Israel, and it is so popular, in fact, that I guess probably as some like kind of slang or whatever, Sabra is also a term used for Jews born in Israel. It's a fairly commonly used in that context. So people read it a variety of ways, either as they like shitty Sabra hummus, because I do hear that Sabra hummus is quite shitty, or they like Jews born in Israel. And considering the rhetoric of all these content creators, either way would kind of imply a bit of anti-Semitism, but most people interpret it as the Sabra that meant Jews born in Israel, right? And that is a bit uncharitable, but I think regardless of the way you view it, making a tier list of streamers where you rate them from Arabic coded to Jewish coded, basically, like Israeli coded, is pretty sus. And they got called out en masse, particularly by Ethan Klein and a lot of Jewish Twitch users, because it's not just the like weird pseudo-Arab supremacy shit that's been popping off on Twitch. Twitch has simultaneously brought content creators like Myron Gaines, a full-on Nazi. He's a black Nazi, but a full-on Nazi. He outright says he believes he is superior to American-born black people because he's from like Africa specifically. Like he is from himself from Africa, and so he thinks that like his ancestors were so based and strong that they resisted being sold into slavery, but that black people in America, their ancestors were inferior and they became slaves. And so the fact that he came from Africa makes him superior. Twitch unbanned him. He's also an anti-Semite and a Nazi. They also unbanned Sneeko, a Nazi, obviously. You all know that. He's also part of the weird like pseudo-Arab supremacy gang. They labeled Hassan a Turk as Arab. Hilarious when you consider what the Ottoman Empire did. Yes, very hilarious in that context. But regardless, this got a lot of attention. And Ethan Klein is getting hate-bombed on Twitter right now for calling out the Hassan orbit. Yeah, he is getting hate-bombed. A lot of it, no doubt, with anti-Semitism. However, Ethan Klein is the one currently taking the victory lap because Twitch has taken action and banned these content creators. Granted, it's temporary bans, but they're at least being forced to act now. They can't just pretend they don't notice it anymore. On top of that, they didn't ban Hassan because Hassan's the real moneymaker. They would happily ban Denham's, what was the other guy's name? Frogan, like all those orbiters. They would ban them in a heartbeat before they ban Hassan, like permanently, because Hassan is the real big deal moneymaker for them. Sneeko is a perma? Okay, that's good. So Sneeko apparently got a perma ban, which shouldn't surprise you, because, like, good lord, how do they not go through with that? So, does Ethan Klein own the brand Calvin Klein? Yes, Raptor Engine, he does. If you didn't know that, he does. He owns Calvin Klein. Good deductive skills, Raptor Engine. You're very smart. So, with all that said, a bunch of these content creators... Oh, yeah, Frogan also had a clip come out of her wishing PTSD on American veterans, saying they're all war criminals and evil. Yeah, that was a good one. Anyway, with that said, these bans and the callouts from Ethan caused a massive explosion of drama online, right? And that followed with just the bans, right? And then, of course, the bans led to the response from Hassan's Orbit being even more aggressive because they feel like they actually got owned here. They actually, like, their streamers got banned. Like, Twitch recognized what they were doing as anti-Semitism. Because they've been arguing that their behavior is not anti-Semitic. And now Twitch has at least taken the position, establishing the precedent that their rhetoric, that pro-terrorist rhetoric, showing videos of, like, terrorist organizations waving flags that say death to the Jews in Arabic, that is anti-Semitic just as much as some white nationalists going on a rant about the Great Replacement or the JQ. Twitch has finally taken a stance against anti-Semitism as a concept, not just anti-Semitism from white conservatives. And that is a huge, huge deal. Because anti-Semitism is not exclusive to the right. It is one of the most destructive and common forms of bigotry and the oldest forms of bigotry that's ever existed. And wherever it exists, there is a cultural sort of... I mean, if there's anyone who's Jewish in chat, they can back this up too. There is sort of a cultural standard among American Jews, European Jews, Middle Eastern Jews, and Israeli Jews that never again will there ever be more enslavement of Jews and numbering in the tens of thousands or millions, or genocide, or cultural genocide, or oppression. The reason Israel exists and has so much, like, international Jewish support is because the idea of a place like that existing in case another Hitler comes along is really, really empowering and very, like, reassuring, right? That, like, if America ever falls, like, if Trump wins and wants to, like, go full Hitler with America and start ceding ground to anti-Semites, then Jews can start fleeing America and go to Israel, a place that will welcome them with open arms. And if, God forbid, the world turns against Jews, the country can at least take out the rest of the world if they decide they're going to kill every last Jew, right? That's the idea behind Israel. That's the reason why even non-genocidal Israeli nationalists support the idea of Israel, you know? There is genuine generational trauma going back, frankly, thousands or tens of thousands of years at this point, well before the Holocaust, that justifies a perception that, like, Jewish people need to, like, work together to ensure nothing like that ever happens again, you know? And so, when this behavior from Twitch started to pass around, when this, like, when Twitch started to look away, when anti-Semitism started to blow up on the platform, Jewish Twitch viewers and users have been calling this out for a while and have been made very uncomfortable with it, because the second it starts to bubble up, you gotta call it out. You cannot let that shit bubble up, or it could happen again. So there is a strong culture of not just looking the other way and letting it happen when anti-Semitism starts to bubble up within the Jewish community all around the world, no matter where you live. You see it start to happen, you call it out, and you don't let it start to rise. We all know what happened last time. And I completely respect Ethan Klein, as a Jewish man, for calling out this anti-Semitism on the platform. I highly respect people on the platform who are Jewish getting uncomfortable by the path that Twitch has gone in and forcing them to actually take a stand. Let's start the video. I've stun-locked for a bit before we even started this, but it's important context as to why this is so important.
Hello once again, my friends. An emergency Ethan Klein video is in order. Been talking a lot about my former co-host Hassan Piker and leveling some pretty serious criticism.
The audio in this video is a little weird. I only watched the first 30 seconds of it off stream, and I noticed the audio was weird. So if you notice anything odd about the audio, like it's weird, kind of like crackly or bassy, it's not me, it's not my end, it's actually the video itself that we're watching.
Against him. I knew that he wasn't going to take it well and wasn't going to respond to any of the points made. And basically, it's turned out that I've been right about that. There's one clip, though, that I just saw on our subreddit that's especially kind of nefarious. This is the type of character assassination and propaganda that I think is really important to call out the minute it happens, to get ahead of it. This is also what would be especially good for fans of Hassan's, who's
Cuddle Buddy in YouTube chat says, not on Ethan's side on this, but I still love Xanderhall. It's okay. I know anti-Semitism is very common on the left too, Cuddle Buddy. Hopefully, you are eventually able to stop supporting groups that carry flags and banners that say death to the Yehud. Maybe then you will you'll be more sort of fitting in here. I appreciate that you still love me, but I would appreciate more if you like sent some of the love you have for me towards Jewish people, you know? Oh shit, I skipped to the end of the video. God damn it.
A lot about my former co-host Hassan Piker and leveling some pretty serious criticism against him. I knew that he wasn't going to take it well and wasn't going to respond to any of the points made. And basically, it's turned out that I've been.
If you're wondering, like, why Ethan Klein would have that perspective on Hassan, I actually showed it on stream, the previous stream that I did, like last stream. I showed a good amount of it when fucking Dylan Burns made a video bringing some Ukrainians onto his show to just review some very popular clips of Hassan talking about the war in Ukraine and Russia. They were not happy. They were all Russian state media talking points. Definitive lies in many situations, stuff that Hassan and his community have tried hard to memory hole. In response to this video existing, some of his fans like asked Hassan, are you going to watch the video? Are you going to cover it? Are you going to react to it? Hassan's response, recognizing, oh shit, this does not make me look good to have like the actual citizens of a country under siege call me out for defending said siege. So his response was to simply refer to Dylan Burns as a war tourist pervert, quote unquote, and just starts shit talking him for like 10 minutes straight, and then refuses to watch the video because he doesn't. He's too like that. That is the kind of person Hassan is. He will not engage with like this type of criticism, any type of criticism that even acknowledging shows that he doesn't look good, you know? Pastor Dean, stop making alt accounts to make yourself look good in YouTube chat.
Right about that. There's one clip, though, that I just saw on our subreddit that's especially kind of nefarious. This is the type of character assassination and propaganda that I think is really important to call out the minute it happens, to get ahead of it.
True.
This is also what would be especially good for fans of Hassan's, who's been listening to the podcast to help drive home some of the points that I've been making. So here it is. Let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Did you see this? I mean, yeah, I didn't.
But there's no. What's crazy is there's nobody on the entire platform to call him out. Nobody. They've all been banned.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. Destiny should be unbanned so we can call me out. Is a crazy take.
I said there's no dissenting voices, and he said Destiny should be unbanned is a crazy take. At what point did I say that? He's drilling into his audience brain already, trying to draw this association between Destiny.
This is actually a very common tactic that Hassan uses. Because so much of Hassan's audience are ex-Destiny fans that, you know, being ex-fans of a content creator, have a little bit of an even irrational hatred of Destiny, Hassan desperately either tries to associate any criticism of him with the alt-right and Nazis, or with Destiny specifically. If criticism he's receiving cannot be framed as coming from the far right and Nazis, and thus hand-waved and not paid any attention to, he attributes all of it to Destiny and tries to tell his audience These are just Destiny's people coming after me. These are Destiny people. They want Destiny unbanned. And his fans, once they've heard that, they're immediately on his side, because that's like the ultimate boogeyman in his community. And all he has to do is invoke Destiny's name as having any association, or like even just make up an association. And his fans turn their brain off and they assume, oh, this is just another follower of Destiny trying to take down Hassan. The only person who dislikes Hassan, the only person who has any reason to dislike Hassan, Destiny. It must be him.
Knowing that his fan base hates Destiny as a way to poison the well against me. There has been no... I've mentioned Destiny on my channel over the last 10 years, maybe once.
I don't...
Mind you, Ethan Klein's fan base fucking hates Destiny. Hassan and Ethan did a podcast together for years. They had like a massive amount of audience crossover. Ethan's audience fucking hates Destiny. They've had years of like prepping to really dislike Destiny. I assure you, it's just not what's going on there. It's not. I've seen, like, Ethan's subreddit has absolutely nothing nice to say about Destiny. I've never seen Ethan's comment section have anything nice to say about Destiny. Hassan is just making a false association, because his audience will immediately go with everything he has to say if he just lumps in Ethan's criticisms with Destiny's.
Recognize Ethan any longer. I'll be honest. Like who would call me out? Like right-wing shitheads? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I'm not a right-wing shithead. I'm a liberal progressive who basically had some criticism for some of the stuff you've been doing, but mostly agrees with everything you believe in. Not everybody that disagrees with you is a right-wing shithead. And that's part of the issue that we're having here. This is, once again, he's trying to put me in the bucket with right-wing shitheads.
Not only that, but I do get fucking yelled at all the time. Who do you want? Like some fucking weirdo Nazi? Like who?
Once again, implying that I want Nazis on the platform. Literally all I said is that there's no dissenting voices on Twitch, and he's building a fantasy world in which I'm a right-wing shithead that wants Nazis on the platform to criticize him.
There's only one guy I think he means, and that's Destiny, which is crazy.
It is honestly pretty severe the way that he draws everything back to Destiny. I don't know him. I've never talked about him on the channel. I don't know what's going on. But
it's like Destiny genuinely lives so rent-free in Hassan's head. It's like, it's got to be wild to watch as this guy who's never spoken to Destiny, whose audience doesn't like Destiny, I don't think Ethan Klein has a positive opinion on Destiny, as Hassan desperately tries to evoke Destiny's name to get his audience to, like, just to poison the well before any arguments can be presented by Ethan Klein, you know? Because if any argument comes from a Destiny supporter, we get to turn your brains off. Don't listen to a word he says, you know? He's not. It's just well poisoning. And that wouldn't even be a logical thought process in the first place, but that's how Hassan has trained his fans. So he rings the bell, his fans drool. He mentions Destiny, they turn their brains off.
This Destiny thing, the only explanation I can have is that he thinks that it's just an easy way for him to make me look bad to his community.
Nobody. There's not a single dissenting voice with his fucking straight up radical, anti-American, anti-Semitic fucking...
Bro, I can't believe this man went from dunking on Steven Crowder to saying Steven Crowder ass shit. He's anti-American, radical anti-American.
Steven Crowder ass shit. Yes, Hassan is in fact radically anti-American. He literally said and meant that America deserved 9/11, not in like a literal, like, oh yeah, foreign policy decisions were bad and like America like caused the events of 9/11 to occur and like made that happen. It wasn't like all just like, oh, we're just minding our own business and it just happened out of nowhere. That wasn't his point. If it was, no one would have a problem with it. Hassan outright said that America as a country, its civilians, its citizens, deserve 9/11 because of the people that were elected. Mind you, Bush didn't even, like Bush, who got us into the war after 9/11, wasn't, like, there, I don't know how you justify this. They read the Osama bin Laden letter, which it uses things that happened after 9/11 as justification for 9/11, talks about the evils of like homosexuality in America. Hassan read this note on stream. Denham's read the note on stream and called it based and got like a 4-day ban for it or something. Like Hassan has played like clips of Houthi rallies where they're like carrying around flags that say death to the Jews in Arabic. It's really not, this is not like a Steven Crowder talking point. It's just the reality of the situation.
American.
Now, instead of actually addressing a single point, he stops it before he gets there. He conjures the image of Steven Crowder, who's got nothing to do with this conversation. And he says, how did you go from dunking on Steven Crowder to being Steven Crowder. Once again, this is a crazy amount of well poisoning, and it's so disingenuous and it's so bad faith.
Yep.
I hope it's clear to everybody just how bad faith this is right now and how desperately he's trying not to respond to any of the actual criticism that I've made. Criticizing Hassan does not make you Steven Crowder as much as he wants it to.
Like, what's next, dude? Should I leave the country? Should I go back to my own country, dude?
Once again, putting heinous words in my mouth, implying that I want
Very Hassan tactic, just saying, "Oh, you disagreed with me? What? Do you want me to be deported? Do you want me to be executed? You want me to be in slavery? Yeah, that's what you want. You dislike me, so you must be a Nazi. You must want Nazi things." It's Hassan's go-to method. It's why every Hassan fan treats anyone who calls him out like they're a fucking monster. You'll notice that, for example, in any comment section of any video I make about Hassan, because Hassan has trained his fans to see anyone who would dare to criticize him as clearly they're a Nazi or they're far right or they want him deported, I guess. Like, what the fuck? Like, dude, he cannot not bullshit his way into like a defense of himself.
him to leave the country because now that I disagreed with him, I'm a heinous right-wing Nazi. Didn't say that, don't want that, don't believe it. But he's trying to build this image of me in his audience mind to turn them against me and to not listen to any of the legitimate criticism that I've leveled against him.
The fuck is this? This is the reason why I don't want to watch a single fucking clip of Ethan, because I feel like I'm going to lose my goddamn mind, okay? Not because I'm like escaping accountability. Like, come on, dude. Come the fuck on. You think I haven't heard these fucking talking points a million times over?
If Hassan could at least just respond to the point instead of saying, I'm Steven.
Hey, chat. I would just like to point something out. Something that might... It's a little bit of a silver lining to this story as well, besides the bans that Twitch ruled out, I guess. For years, Hassan was rocketing in growth, like growing at a crazy rate, like a massive figure and getting larger every day. And in the last... Ever since the Ukraine stuff happened, that stopped. Hassan's actually been losing viewers and losing general support. He's plateaued and is actually on a slight decline. And ever since that started, around the time he started taking L's around the Ukraine stuff and has continued to take L after L and after L, he stopped doing the thing he did through all of his astronomic rise, which was refusing to say Destiny's name. Hassan operated on this, like, no free clout policy, where anyone who called him out, he would use the logic that he's got so much fame and clout that they're just clout chasing him, and that's why he shouldn't give the attention to any criticisms he receives, right? And yeah, granted, he got a lot of that popularity because he streamed for 12 hours a day for an entire year and didn't miss a single day. That did help him a lot. But regardless, for all that time where he was growing massively, he would refuse to even say Destiny's name. The most reference he would get, his name was even banned from his chat. You had to refer to him as Pepe La D. That's where that came from, was Hassan's chat, because he wouldn't even say Destiny's name. No free clout, right? However, ever since Hassan started his plateau, he started saying Destiny's name. Not just saying Destiny's name, but he stopped subtweeting Destiny as this unnamed, deranged hater that he has, who's like a smaller, irrelevant figure that he doesn't even want to give attention to. Now he is obsessed with mentioning Destiny. Do you want to know why? You may not like it, because I know a lot of you guys don't like Destiny. But look at Destiny's Social Blade, whether it be YouTube or Kick or whatever. Look at Destiny's Social Blade, compare it to Hassan's Social Blade. That's all you need to see. Hassan knows what's going on, and he's scared. I think you don't have to like Destiny to admit this. You know, I have plenty of issues with Destiny, but it is clear that in the realm of politics online, even like left-leaning progressive politics, people are realizing Hassan is full of shit, losing trust in left-wing, like, progressive content creators because of it, and they are rallying behind Destiny and his beliefs, because Destiny is the most prominent and loud and outspoken person debunking and calling out the bullshit Hassan is spewing. So when Hassan's massive audience, when chunks of it start realizing how full of shit he is, and they start looking for people that actually call it out, who is Hassan now been training his own fans to see as the deranged hater always calling him out? Once his fans realize that Hassan's full of shit, and he needs to be called out, they go to the guy who they now associate with calling out Hassan's bullshit. And so Destiny is now skyrocketing as Hassan falls. And the fact is, Hassan's form of bullshit, fake left-wing politics is failing. It is destined to fail. We are watching its destiny unfold in real time. And the people who fall out of that realm of bullshit, fake lefty politics end up going towards, like, Destiny's, I guess, brand of liberalism. And if you see that as a problem, because people who are leaving leftism to become more, like, liberal, then that's a problem you need to have with Hassan. Because Hassan has attracted a lot of people to the left. But once those same people realized he was full of shit, they thought the entire progressive left was full of shit. And that has been a trend that has been blowing up. Look at the social blades. I'm not making this up. You can go look at the stats and the charts and the data for yourself.
Crowder, I'm a right-wing Nazi. I want to kick him out of the country. Just talk about what I'm saying. Can we try that?
Over. I know the fucking subreddit that you basically scraped these fucking bottom of the barrel talking points from. I know. I hear it all the time from his pathetic fucking fans that come in here and hit me with it every single fucking day. The real reason why I don't want to fucking watch these videos is because I don't want to, like, lean into the fucking mania that he is expressing every single damn day.
Mania.
I genuinely have no idea what he's talking about. Presumably.
Remember, guys, he doesn't respond to any criticism because everybody who calls him out is a maniac who you just shouldn't give any attention to, because frankly, you're just giving attention to a mental breakdown, anyone who calls him out. Like, genuinely trying to gaslight his fans into questioning the sanity of another person because they dare to question the events that Hassan says happened. It's like Hassan is gaslighting Ethan by gaslighting his audience. It's hard. It's the best way I can lay out the situation.
Probably he's once again trying to tie me up with Destiny, but I really don't even know. I don't know what's happening here. All I know is he's not responding to any of the points I made.
Because I think it's utterly irrelevant in the grander point that Israel is committing a fucking genocide, that Israel is an apartheid state. And I think it's, like, very selfish to have a conversation about my radical anti-American views over and over again.
This is a logical fallacy that you'll see Hassan leaning on pretty frequently here. And what he's saying is because there's a genocide happening in Gaza, he shouldn't be accountable to talk about anything else because...
I really like this as well. The fact that the way Ethan says it is because there is a genocide happening in Gaza doesn't even let Hassan get away with the claim that Ethan Klein is pro-Israel, because he's not. He is not a Zionist. He is not pro-Israel, like bombing Palestinians and settlement claiming and stuff. Ethan Klein has the same position I and Bernie Sanders do on Israel, that it is a country with a civilian population, and the government and military of that civilian population should be defending that country should be defending the civilian population. I'm sorry, I mush-mouthed today. A very reasonable and good take. Hassan does not believe in those things. Hassan does not believe that Israel has a right to defend itself against actual attacks on its civilians. In fact, many of his fans, and maybe even him, though I haven't seen him say it, but I know for a fact his fans say that simply serving in the IDF at any point makes you a terrorist who deserves to die. Mind you, every civilian in Israel at some point has to sign up for and draft and be part of the IDF because they have compulsory military service in their country. It's part of that whole idea of never again. Every Israeli Jew will know how to use a gun, how to fight, how to defend themselves, basic military tactics. They will have had fighting experience so that if another Holocaust ever happens, every Israeli Jew, even the civilians, know how to use guns, they know how to fight, and they can be mobilized into a a civilian military force very quickly. Just get the rust off. They've already got military training and combat experience. That's how Israel works. That is the reason why Israel does it. At least they say that's why, is that it's never again another Holocaust. Every man, woman, and able-bodied man and woman in Israel, I guess, not child, but man and woman in Israel, in their purview, should be capable of acting as a soldier. And there's an argument for it. I don't like the war culture that Israel has, but there is a good reason for it. At least I can say that.
This terrible thing is happening, but again, I'm not talking about Gaza. I'm talking about Hassan, and he's done this. He's doing this smoke and mirrors where he's sidestepping my criticism and putting it like I'm trying to take away attention from Gaza. The truth is that we're smart, thinking, feeling beings, and we can hold two thoughts in our head at once. We can.
True.
Chew bubblegum and walk. And frankly, we all know that. And so this is a really cheap way of essentially avoiding accountability or avoid talking about anything he wants. It's very disingenuous.
Except plenty of people do, okay? Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson, Fox News.
Once again,
It really does. I love that Hassan is sort of a shining example of the fact that even on the left, there is not a lack of people who lack the critical thinking skills to resist a smooth-talking, charismatic bullshitter. They exist on the left. Hassan is one of them. They have massive audiences because even on the left, among leftists, there is a lack of critical thinking enough that people still fall for these dumb fucks, these grifters. And Hassan's less of a grifter than most conservative figures, but I mean, God, at this point, I feel pretty comfortable calling Hassan that. He's at least a bullshitter that, like, viewers should be able to recognize. Ethan is looking a lot more healthy as of late. Dude, I've noticed this among content viewers. People will call you healthier based on the most random things. If I get a haircut, people say I'm looking healthy. It's like, the only thing I've done different is get a haircut. That's all I did. Or shaved. Or, like, slightly increased the saturation on my camera. Because if your camera has the lighting settings fucked up, if you're not a content creator, you would never even know how much of an impact this has. Here, watch this. I'm going to change a single bar. Like, I'm going to unbalance my lighting very quickly just to demonstrate to you guys how, like, sickly and unhealthy I can look with, like, a simple moving of a tick on one bar. Watch this. Here, if I move it a little bit so it's a little less noticeable, here it makes it so, like, every little blemish on my face stands out more. See that? So many people don't adjust their saturation properly, and they end up with it, like, around here or something, and every blemish on their face, granted my face doesn't have a lot, but regardless, if I had, like, acne and stuff going on, like, here you can notice this a little better. I've got, like, something going on here you can notice a little more. Fucking up your lighting has a massive impact on how people perceive you, and so when I adjust my saturation, oh, it's a little low now. When I adjust my saturation to balanced, so now this is, like, how I actually look, I look healthy all of a sudden, right? So for a lot of people, it's just, they see the lighting change and they're like, oh my gosh, my favorite content creator looks like they worked out, or they look healthier now. Zan is his own blood wall now. Yeah, true.
And I've talked about this quite a lot, and he's isolated one part of me saying that I think he's doing anti-American propaganda. And what he immediately does is he takes that and he associates me immediately and directly with, like, who do you say? Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson, Steven Crowder. I mean, these are all people that I despise, who have openly criticized, who I think are just a blight on this country. And once again, because I disagree with him on some issues, now I'm basically Tucker Carlson. I mean, can you believe that leap in logic?
And now your favorite, Destiny. A person who has literally told me to go back to my own country. Okay? A person who...
Dude, Destiny was never brought up by Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein's never spoken to Destiny, doesn't seem to like Destiny. His fans don't like Destiny. This is completely from Hassan's head. That, like, either Hassan's so rent-free with Destiny in his head that he cannot stop thinking about him and bringing him up as, like, the mastermind behind every bit of criticism he receives, or this is, like I said, him desperately trying to shove down his fans' throat the idea that Destiny is the source for these criticisms, and thus you can't trust anything that Ethan Klein says. Because frankly, if Hassan's fans go and watch, like, even this video, they'll see Ethan Klein say, the genocide in Gaza. And they'll be like, wait, what? But Hassan said that Ethan Klein is a Zionist and doesn't believe there's a genocide. He's pro-genocide, I thought. Why is he referring to the genocide in Gaza and calling it bad and saying he's against it? Hassan told me he was in favor of it and didn't acknowledge its existence. If any of his fans go and get exposed to that, they might realize that Hassan was lying to them. So Hassan is just spending as little time on the video as possible because he doesn't want to expose his fans to Ethan's arguments, obviously. It's a go-to. But on top of that, constantly evoking Destiny and Steven Crowder and any figure that his fans hate, to try and poison the well. It's like when you have it pointed out like this, it's so clearly undeniable. Hassan is not being honest here at all. Like it's very slimy and slippery. Like look what he's doing. Hell, I feel like we've got to have like even the conservatives in chat have to agree, or especially the conservatives in chat have to agree. Like Hassan's just being slippery here. Like he's like Destiny's not been brought up once by anyone but him, and he's just like Destiny, Destiny, Destiny. Rah!
Has fantasized about executing me.
That's terrible. I've never said that. I didn't talk about Destiny.
Dude.
Why are you talking about...
Dude, unironically, Hassan, Destiny is to Hassan how Dinkelberg is to Timmy's dad. That is perfect, TSW, the Shadow Wolf.
about Destiny when I've articulated points that are very easy to digest and respond to. But he's going on about how Destiny told him to get out of the country and Destiny fantasizes about murdering him. And I'm saying, well, that's all terrible. But what's that got to do with me? He's poisoning the minds of his audience, trying to, once again, associate me somehow intertwined with Destiny, even though I've mentioned it maybe once in 10 years. I have never talked about this.
And it works too. It works really well. When I criticize Hassan for years, whenever I would criticize Hassan, I would lose subs and get shit from my own fans because they're Hassan fans too, who have been trained to associate, oh, is Zand calling out? Oh, he must be part of the Destiny orbit now. Fuck Xanderhall. He's copying Destiny because he dares to criticize anything Hassan does. Hassan has done an amazing job at training his fans to see criticism of him, to immediately see it as a report of being conservative or far right or a fan of Destiny, the bad boogeyman you have to hate anyone associated with. Even if that doesn't exist, he's trained them to see it where it doesn't, just like he does. And that is why Hassan fans, when they find out a content creator they also watch doesn't like Hassan, immediately say, man, I like this creator. They don't like Hassan. Man, I guess they turned out to be a conservative. I've had it happen to me. Hassan's very good at manipulating his audience. It's pretty effective.
Man.
A person who has...
Actually, the only time I've talked about him is in the context that I used to watch him play StarCraft 2. Like, it's not even political. It's just like, oh yeah, I used to watch him play StarCraft 2. Like 15
and that
years
is...
ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say that might be 15 or 16 years ago. Like, yeah, okay, so maybe Ethan Klein did watch Destiny over a decade ago, before Destiny did politics, when Destiny was the largest streamer on all of Justin TV because he was the pro StarCraft player streamer at the time. Like, he was literally the most viewed Twitch streamer or Justin TV streamer at the time. Twitch wasn't a thing, it was Justin TV. And he was playing StarCraft. He wasn't even in politics back then. So, damn, the secret connection has been discovered. Hassan has destroyed Ethan.
Person who has fantasized about executing me numerous times over. A person who has had prominent Nazi figures on his broadcast talk about killing me. Prominent Nazi figures who hate you too.
Look at this. Oh, yeah, listen. Not only non-existent connection between Ethan Klein and Destiny, but now instead of actually acknowledging arguments Ethan Klein has made, Hassan gets to just complain about Destiny and talk about, like, you guys remember how bad Destiny is, right? Destiny said all these awful things, and without even demonstrating a connection, he can lump all the moral negativity of all these behaviors of Destiny onto Ethan Klein. And now Hassan's fans won't listen to a single argument. Hell, they won't even hear Ethan Klein say that he is opposed to the genocide in Gaza. Because if they hear that, then all of a sudden the idea of what Ethan Klein believes that Hassan has pushed on his fans evaporates. All of a sudden it's like, wait, Hassan said you don't believe there's a genocide in Gaza. If they even take a second to watch an Ethan Klein video, Hassan fails. That is why so much effort is put in by Hassan to poison the well. He's so desperate because he has to prevent as many of his fans as possible from hearing the opposition's argument. It's very important for his fans to write them off as crazy, deranged, and to just keep watching him.
Now you like Destiny? Really?
I have not said anything about Destiny, but okay.
Fucking Sam Hyde doesn't like you either, dog.
I didn't say anything about Sam Hyde either. Once again, I don't know what's happening.
That's so crazy. That's the craziest part. Like, how do you not recognize that these people who fucking call for your death and have said horrifying shit about you over and over again, now you are aligned with, now you're reposting fucking Keemstar and shit.
That is a terribly bad faith recounting. What happened in that case is that Frogan and her friends were trying to blame the harassment she was getting on me, even though it was quite obviously from people responding to her telling vets that they deserve to get PTSD. What I was doing, clearly in my stories, was I was showing tweets from all these conservative sources showing that the harassment she's getting
is from them. I in no way endorsed it at all. I showed a picture of like donut operator tweeting about it.
Dude. Yeah, that sounds like Hassan. Like, Hassan accused Ethan Klein of his fans harassing Frogan. Ethan Klein responds, "No, it's not my fans. Actually, here are a bunch of prominent conservatives that have been encouraging the harassment, and it's probably their fans, considering it's like Keemstar and conservative figures." And then Hassan responds by framing Ethan Klein showing those tweets as signal boosting and agreeing with them. Yep, that sounds straight out of the Hassan playbook to me.
Some cops account tweeting about it. Drama Alert tweeted about it, and a few others that had massive presence on Twitter and were talking about Frogan. So to say that I'm now reposting Drama Alert, implying that I'm co-signing or supporting him, is so bad faith that it could only imply that he knows exactly what he's doing, that it's actually that bad faith. That he's just essentially lying and doing a character assassination.
What a silly, sad, pathetic state of affairs, dude. Jesus Christ. It makes me so fucking sad.
Okay, well, apparently he's disappointed and he's sad about a bunch of things that have nothing to do with me. So going back, you can see there's layers and layers and layers of character assassination, propaganda, logical fallacies, and not one response to any of the points that I've actually made. And it seems obvious to me that he's trying to poison his audience against me by misrepresenting my beliefs and just straight up lying about things that I said and things that I believe. Now, this just came out. I just saw this on the subreddit, but things like this I like to get ahead of as quickly as possible, because I do not want him to be allowed to set this tempo as if this is the official narrative. I must fight this at every point. And once again, if you're a Hassan fan, challenge him to do better than this. This is dishonest. And more than that, I'd like for him to just respond to one of the points I made just directly. Anyway, that's my video for the evening. Have a great one.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I've been in the situation before that Ethan Klein is in. To a degree. Like, I've called out other creators in the space that I was friends with, and Hassan and Ethan were friends, for genuine, like, not just disagreements in politics, but disagreements over things that are, like, a pretty big deal, you know? Like, it's just... To have that responded to with so much vitriol, and to have the person you're calling out attempt to moralize against you, I've been there. I know what it's like. Ethan Klein is having a character assassination campaign done against him by larger figures with more prominence to frame him as a bigot when his criticisms are actually coming from a more progressive place than where the takes that from the people he's criticizing are. I've had this happen to me multiple times. I know what it's like. I've been there. It fucking blows, dude. It really does suck. It does really suck that the current, like, left-wing content creator complex, like industrial complex, is so full of like hacks and shitheads that they will like try to destroy you, it seems, if you call them out, especially if it's from the left. If you call them out on something from a left-wing point, Jesus Christ, it'll send them ballistic, because it's all this like contest of being woker than thou. And I don't mean that in like the conservative sense. I mean that literally. Like, being more progressive than another content creator is like a badge of honor in this space. So if you can just prove that you're more progressive than this other figure by claiming they're associated with Destiny or they're similar to Steven Crowder, then that's enough of an argument for why a creator is awful. It's literally the same logic that DJ Mule used against me, and somehow Hassan fans are falling for it, despite at least I saw a bunch of the left recognize that, you know, DJ Mule's arguments were dog shit, that they were fallacy and shitty, and yet people are still going with them when they're against Ethan Klein from Hassan. If dog shit opinions and takes and slander come from the right face, then people will run with it, it seems. And it's at least enlightening to see that Ethan Klein is calling it out. Comments are turned off on this video because Ethan has been getting fucking, like, dogpiled by Hassan's fans. I don't necessarily like the comment turning off stuff. I think that's a little cringe, but I can kind of understand it. If, like, the hate has been so anti-Semitic, it's like, yeah, we should probably not allow the comments on this one, you know? Like, let's keep the Nazis from spamming their anti-Semitism in the comments of this one. Let's keep it out. So I get it. I get it to a degree. Anyway, if you by any chance enjoyed this segment, found it entertaining or even educational, then please consider leaving a like. Whether you're watching live, whether you're watching this as a video or you're watching this as a VOD, every thumbs up on the thing you're watching boosts my content in the algorithm in real time, putting my stuff in front of new viewers who may not have ever seen my stuff before. So every single like really counts, as do the comments. Not only do they compound the benefit of the likes, but I also get to read what you think of the video, and I really do like reading your comments. And of course, if you haven't already, consider subscribing and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And of course, if you want to see anything else from my stream, if you want to, support it financially, if you want to go the extra mile and you can afford it, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. And don't forget to follow my social medias linked down below too. And finally, do not forget to join my fan Discord. It is free to join. It is the main hub of my community and fan base. It's great. I host game events, call-in streams, and/or watch parties once a week there. And on top of that, I announce all my new uploads and streams. So if you're not already part of the Discord, you better hop right on in. Like I said before, link in the description. But with all that said, thank you for watching, and have a good one.